Honestly guys, I did not expect that the Sony A7S III is such a good vlogging camera. I use it together with a Tamron 17-28mm lens, and I would actually go as far as saying that this is the best vlogging setup on the market. So I would say let's have a great time by watching some drone shots of the sunrise and then talk about why I think that this combination is so good. Actually missed that, just going somewhere in the morning with my drone and having a great time. Like, I didn't fly my drone for a few months, and I must say it's just great. Field sunrise somewhere, fly your drone, get some good shots. It's a good way to start the day. So when I got the Sony A7S III, I first planned to get the 16-35mm F2.8 lens from Sony, because that's usually what vloggers use. You can use it at 60mm for vlogging and at 35mm to shoot B-roll. But then I did some research and I found the Tamron 17-28mm, and I must actually say that I think it's the better option for vloggers. And the reason is pretty simple. Like, just look at this setup. This is so small and lightweight. It's actually lighter than my Fujifilm X-T4 together with a 16-55 lens. And it's insane. It's a super wide angle zoom lens for a full frame camera, and it's that small and lightweight, just 420 grams for the lens. But a small size and weight is not just important for portability generally, but it's also good for gorilla pods. If you put it on a gorilla pod and you want to put a camera somewhere, the gorilla pod tends to collapse, and that doesn't happen with this setup. And regarding portability, you can also get this Sony microphone here, which is amazing because it doesn't need a cable. You just plug it into the hot shoe mount, just about 1/2 of a turn or something like that, and it locks in, it works, no cables, nothing, and it's pretty small. I can actually carry that in my pocket here. So that's awesome. That makes vlogging so easy. And the easier vlogging is, there's actually a dog on my back right now. Hey, come here, come here. Oh, that's a scared dog. You can't see it. And yeah, the easier and more convenient vlogging is, the more you vlog, and then you automatically tell a better story. So I think that's why this setup is so good. Of course, there are also a few downsides, but we will talk about that in a second. And let me know in the comments below what setup you are using right now for vlogging and if you want to switch. It's hot. So let's talk about the downsides of this lens, and there are actually just two. Like, one major one, and I would say that's lens flaring. It has a lot of lens flaring, which for me is not necessarily a bad thing, because I oftentimes like to have a bit of lens flaring in my shots. But if you don't like that, then it's definitely a disadvantage, so you might want to be aware of that. And the other thing, a problem, it's not really a problem or a downside, I would say, but that's the zoom range. Of course, you only have 17-28mm and not 16-35, so that's obviously a bit more limiting, but I don't find it a big issue. Like, the 17mm are totally fine for vlogging, and to be honest, we're actually not ending really at 28mm, because on the Sony A7S III you have this 1.1 crop when you have active stabilization on, what I always recommend, because it makes the stabilization so much better. And when you have this crop, then you're essentially at 30.8mm, so about 31mm, and it's actually not too far away from 35mm anymore. And I would say that there's no shot that I could not get at 31mm that I would usually get at 35mm. So overall, not really a big issue. I would say a bigger issue is actually when you shoot in 4K all the time, like I do, that you cannot crop into the sensor and therefore get a bit closer. Like, that was nice before on the Canon EOS R. Like, there I was in 1080p all the time anyway, and I was cropping in the 35mm lens when I wanted to get a bit closer. But it's also not a big issue, because you can always crop in a bit in post, even if you lose quality, but people don't really see that. So it's really not a downside to only have the 17-28mm. I would just say, if you can, maybe just rent the lens for 2 days or so and just try it out by yourself and see if the zoom range is good enough for you.
Now you might ask yourself, why not just get a prime lens instead of a zoom lens for vlogging? And I mean, there are advantages to prime lenses, like they are smaller, they have lower aperture, etc. So that's all good. But the thing is just that even if I mainly vlog, then I also want to quickly get a B-roll shot. Like right now the boat was driving here and I wanted to zoom a bit in, obviously, to make the boat a bit bigger. So at least I have this 28mm or 31mm here on this lens. It's better than being at super wide angle. So if I would have a prime lens, then I would have to change lenses, and that obviously sucks. Here I can just zoom in a bit and that makes everything easier.
So enough about the lens, let's also talk about the body, and there is a good reason why I called this video for professional vloggers, and the reason is that this camera is complete overkill if you just want to tell a story and you want to start on YouTube, etc. Like, this camera is really for professionals. Like, you can do lots of color grading, you can publish everything in 4K, even your slow-mo shots, like you have 4K 60, 4K 120, etc. All of that in 10-bit color. And to be honest, even if you have the money to afford this camera, but you don't know that much about shooting videos, color grading, video editing, etc., then you won't be able to use this camera to its full potential. And that's why I called this video for professional vlogging. So if you are not really a professional, if you just want to bring your story out, you want to start on YouTube, etc., then I would recommend to get the Sony A7C together with this Tamron 17-28mm lens, because this camera is even smaller, it's cheaper, and it will get the job done. You have decent 1080p on this camera, and you also have 4K up to 30 frames per second for vlogging. So that somebody cup. So that could be the better option there. And aside from that, if you really want to have the best quality, if you shoot a lot of B-roll, if you really care a lot about the quality of your videos, and you know how to properly use cameras, how to do color grading, etc., then the Sony A7s III is the way to go for you. But both bodies are great for vlogging because they are so small and lightweight, so you will be happy with both of them. Some of you guys asked me already what happened to my Fujifilm X-T4 and if there will still be videos on this channel. Harry, for example, hey man. And yeah, no worries, you see I still have the Fujifilm X-T4 and I'm absolutely in love with it. I love the color straight out of camera, and it's insane what you get for the price. Actually, if your videos are not just vlogging most of the time, if you focus more on quality B-roll and you do some talking headshots, then I would actually get the Fujifilm X-T4 if you want to save a bit of money compared to the Sony A7s III. And yeah, like as mentioned, in the future there will be more videos on this channel about the Fujifilm X-T4 as well, so don't worry, my existing subscribers. And if you haven't done yet, then hit the subscribe and the bell notifications button now for upcoming videos about both cameras, Fuji and Sony A7s III. And if you like this video, leave me a thumbs up, that really helps the channel grow. And I would say I'm out for now. I'm enjoying my time here a bit more, so see you in the next video.